Hey there, YouTubers. We are about to learn how to swap out the power lift struts on a 2019 Hyundai Tucson. So since I couldn't find any videos on how to do this online, I decided that I would show you. So I have already pulled the cables out of the grommet holes on each side. I've got my ladder propping up my rear hatch here so that when I take the struts off, it'll support them. Here's the grommet hole on the other side. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to just pull all of this weather stripping up and off of the ridge that it rides on. I've put it back on here so that it's not hanging down and getting all in my way of working up inside here. There are three little clips right here that are the first things that you pop down. Once you take this weather strip up and off of here, you actually will see that this is exposed, and you can take a pry tool of some sort or a pry bar and actually work it in up under this and pop it off of the center spot here, this spot here, and this spot here. Once you drop this down, you'll see that this side has some flex to it, and you can actually pop these little blue clips right here, pop out of these holes here and here. And then on the bottom edge of this, you'll find here and up here, a little further in, once you pop this part down, there's another hole right here. Let me get the angle on the camera better there. Another hole right there that have these these little 10 millimeter bolts threaded into them. So once you pull this down out of your way, you can get in there and access those. Take those two out, and it gives you then enough flex in this panel that when you pull it back, you'll see, you can see that little red taped connector right there that is actually pinned to the body. That is what this end will be clipped into. And in order to release that, there's a little spring deal right here that you can do with your finger. This is actually positioned like this when it's clipped in inside there. So you just push this little deal down with your index fingernail and work it out of there, and it'll unplug very easily. And then you just feed it back up through. I got a couple of rubber balls in here holding this down for me so it's out of the way. Actually feeds back up in through here and through a small hole that's up inside this grommet hole here. So it threads in and then immediately makes almost a 180-degree turn and comes back down and plugs into that little clip in there. And the same thing over on this side. You can see that one with the little red marking on it. That's your clip there. So I am going to go ahead and remove now these struts. They are labeled RH and LH. If you look very closely at the bottom of that one, you'll see that it says RH, and the one on this side should say LH. I haven't even looked at it. Oh, and that actually tore off of there as I was taking it out. I didn't realize that, so it must be like stuck up inside there somewhere. But on the new ones, this one right here says LH. This one right here is our RH. So this is the one that will go on the right hand side here first. So these struts are actually really easy to remove and replace once you've got the wire done. And the way, if you've not done these before, you'll think, oh geez, I got to take that whole little bracket out and everything. But the truth of the matter is, right here on the ball end, this end, and on this end right here, there's a little spring clip that has a little niche right there that if you put a screwdriver in that, it'll pop that spring clip. It'll pop that spring clip right off of there, and this will pull right off of that. And the same with this one down here. Once you pop that little spring clip off, it'll pull right off. But you have got to make sure that you either have someone standing here supporting this thing, or something like what I've done here, where, thank goodness, the height of this ladder actually works out perfectly to nudge right under that closing latch, and will support the weight of this when I take one off, and you want to do them one at a time. So I've disconnected the wiring on both of them so that it'll be easier to do the removal of the strut. So I am going to grab a screwdriver real quick, and we'll see what we can do with getting those off of there. So you want a fairly substantial flat blade screwdriver, but not so substantial that it won't fit up into that little nook to release the spring clip. So this one looks like it will about do what I need it to do. So let me see if I can do this while I've got the camera up here. See if I can get it under there. There we go. So that one is off enough now that it should release that. In fact, they will pop all the way off, just like that. That went all the way down off to the side there. So that's good. Now I'm gonna have to support this thing a little bit, I think, while I take the other one off. And so I'll be talking, but you won't be seeing me as I try to get this one up of here too. And I might have to stop the camera and come back to you after I get this one off, because this one looks like it's going to be a little more of a bear to release. Oh, there we go. I kind of got it from the side. So see if I can get it all the way off. Yep, that one's all the way off now. So now that one has been popped off of there. This one is popped off of here. And let me see if I can just give these a little bit of a pull here. All right, I'm gonna have to lift it just a hair there. So I lifted it a little bit and popped it right off. The one on the bottom should come right out of there. Yep. So that one is done, at least the removal of it. So now you're going to get to watch the installation of the new one. So the bottom should go on first. I'm going to double check one more time that that's the right hand. Yep, it is. So you line your little hole up there at the bottom. See if I can get a better angle on that. Put it on there, and you leave the spring clip just in place the way that it is. And then you just pop that on. You heard that click? That's all it needs to do. And that is now on that lower ball down there. See if you can see that a little better. Yep. It's on the lower ball. So now the top one, I just gotta turn it slightly if I can. There we go. I gotta crank it with my hand, and I'm gonna have to lift this up a little bit and nudge it onto there, and it clicked right into place. So that one's on. And this one's on. So now I'll take this connector, feed it slowly through my hole right there. Sorry, I blocked what I was doing there as I was doing it. So this went right in, right inside the hole there and into the inside of that compartment. Let's see if I can find it here on the inside now where it has come out. Get this out of the way a little bit. There it is, right there. Worked its way in there. So I'm gonna just kind of guide this down this way as I pull the rest of that cable through there. And then I'm gonna take this and put it so that that clip part is facing down. Let's see if I can get this lined up and push it in there so you can actually see what I'm doing here. Come on, there we go. There we go. It is going in very slowly. And let's see if I can get that with my other hand. All right, I'm gonna have to stop it.